All right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a while. So as many of you guys seen when I posted a while ago, I went through like a sickness. I had like a cold, and I also had a lot of personal problems come in with like myself, things going on with my family. So a lot of things just came up, right? But glory be to God, I'm doing all right. I'm not sick anymore. Things have been working out and everything, and I'm ready to talk about something that's really inspiring. So this is going to be for people who truly resonate with this, but I'm going to talk about how you are a natural leader with a commanding presence. So let's just get right into this video. Let's talk about how you're likely somebody that's always had this like presence to you, right? I've spoken about, people who are chosen, people who are leaders have this presence to them. It's like a big presence. It's like you're easily noticeable. Like that could have manifested in ways into where like you could have been on your own and then people wanted to talk to you, like multiple groups of people wanted to speak to you. Maybe people sat at a table, maybe you're sitting like alone or something, and you have people sit at your table. Or because of the presence that you have, you could have like situations to where, say, you're walking into a place, whatever this place is, whether it's like a gym or something, whether it's like, a store, or like somebody in front of you, and you could be all the way back, like you're kind of far away, but they hold the door open for you, so you're kind of just like, oh wait, they're opening the door from this far away, like they don't need to do that. And yes, these situations happen to a lot of people, but people could sense the type of presence that you have, so you get this kind of like quiet respect around you. Like you kind of just like get respect. You don't ask for it, you don't have to dominate anything, you just get this respect because you're a natural leader. So you'll have situations like this, or maybe like, I don't know, if you rode the bus or something, like it could be like a school bus or just a bus to wherever you're going, or a train or something, or a plane, and you could be walking in, right, and people see you, and then many people move to the side, so they offer you a seat, and it could be like multiple people, right? So you've had these situations happening to you a lot because people could sense a spirit inside of you. They could sense that there's something different about you, right? People could tell who's a leader and who's like a fraud or like a follower or someone that's not truthful, right? But for you, they can see that there's something different about you, that you've had experiences, that you have like this knowledge about you and this like humility about you. So at the same time, you're just as dangerous as you are safe. This is why you've had people want to speak to you and comfortable around you, but also people have kind of been like respectful to you, kind of like spoken to you with like a little bit of fear, right? Because you're someone that doesn't, you pretty much don't play games, right? And I don't mean that in a funny way. You're just someone you're about what you do, you mean what you say, and you say what you mean. And you mostly live like this, right? You could have had certain times to where you weren't as confident. You could have fallen into sin, through lies, through stuff like that. But who you actually are is somebody who's authentic and truthful and a leader, right? Someone who moves in truth, someone who knows a lot of things, someone who has a lot of wisdom. So this is how you are, and this is for people who resonate with this video. I know a lot of you could resonate with this because I've seen a lot of comments that you guys have posted, and a lot of you guys are incredibly intelligent, incredibly insightful and everything. So I know a lot of you could relate to this video. But so yeah, this video isn't anything to brag about, right? Because the more prideful we get, the more we destroy ourselves, right? Pride leads to destruction. So it's really important for us to stay in humility, because as soon as we go into pride, especially if you're chosen, right? So you're going to be held to this standard, because if God wants to make you a leader can't do the same things as everyone else. So you're going to get disciplined, and also God disciplines those he loves. So this is why you've had this discipline through your life. Like things that you do, like they can't be like hidden. You can't do like wicked things and then get away with it, right? It's always going to come through the light, because you're supposed to be this way. You're not supposed to go into the dark. You're not supposed to perish in the dark. So you get rescued. You get rescued by God. You could go through a lot of situations. Like maybe a lot of you guys have had crazy situations in your life where there was like near death situation, where there was like something crazy to where somehow you made it out without any cuts or anything on your skin, on your spirit or anything. You just make it out to where it's like, wait, how did I even survive that? So being a leader, you're going to battle spiritual warfare, right? Because you're a leader of God, you're for God, so you're a righteous leader. And because you're a righteous leader, you're going to get attacked by the dark, right? So you're going to battle spiritual warfare. Whatever that spiritual warfare looks like to you, you're gonna just be someone who battles, right? Because you have a warrior spirit about you. And a warrior spirit does what? Fights, right? You're a fighter. You're someone who fights. You have to fight. But that's what makes you get developed. That's what makes you get developed as a person, as a man or a woman. This is how God develops you, right? You start to develop a lot of strength, a lot of humility, a lot of wisdom. God starts to perfect you, right? Starts to craft you into who he needs you to be. So, and the majority of us, pretty much all of us, we weren't qualified for this, right? But God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So it doesn't matter what your life looks like. If God calls you, he calls you. It doesn't matter if you're this person or that person, or you do this thing or you do that thing, or you've been a bad person or you've done that. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that God calls you, right? Because he could turn anything around. He could turn anything around. So he could turn someone from someone who lives in sin, who lives in the dark, who lives in pretty much destruction. He could turn that all the way around into someone who's life, who lives in eternal life, right? Someone who lives in the spirit, someone who repented of their ways, someone who changed completely, like done a 180. That's what God does. So, but yeah, if you're watching this video though, just know that you're someone who's a natural leader. And every single natural leader has gone through many different trials and tribulations and just things that are just tough, just really tough. Just as an old picture I've seen a while ago, to where this male lion had a bunch of swords in his back, but he was still standing. He was still standing, and everyone was wowed and looking at them as the king, right? Looking at the lion as the king. That's how you are. And this is for specific people. I know there's a lot of you out there that are going to resonate with this video, but that's how you are too. You're that lion with the swords in your back, right? But you're still standing. You're still standing tall. And people see that. This is where the respect comes from, because you don't have to necessarily speak anything. You don't have to exert your dominance. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to do anything, right? It's all just in your demeanor. It's all just in your presence, in your spirit. So this is what makes you so commanding, because you've probably seen it into your life to where like you didn't desire any attention, but you come into a room and you start to get a lot of attention. You start to get attention from people, right? And real attention, not just like they're staring at you, but like they're coming up to talk to you, or like they're coming up to ask you questions. They're coming up to just in general speak to you, right? It's not a coincidence that this happens. It's just they could feel that presence. They know that you're someone different. It's not someone that's completely the same. It's not someone that's completely, it's not someone that's, they could tell you're not someone that just follows what you're supposed to do and like in the world, right? They see something different about you. They're like, okay, this person is definitely different. And you also get a lot of attention, because I've spoke about this before too, but you have a piercing gaze to you. Like your eyes are really piercing, and they're supposed to be really piercing, right? Because you see people's spirit, you see their soul. So when you look at people in the eye, you kind of unmask people. And some people are going to like that and some people are going to hate that, right? That's what makes you polarizing, because you can look at somebody and you unmask them. But if they're someone who, you know, they live in kind of a insecurity, they live in the dark, right? They live without repentance. They live in something that they know is wrong. You're going to look at them, and to them it's going to feel like God is staring directly at them, because you carry the spirit of God. So to people it feels like, when people look at you in the eye, it feels like they're getting stared at by something else, something divine, right? And that's God. So that's also what gets people to come around you, right? That's what makes you a leader, because they can see it. They can see it in your eyes. They can literally see it in your eyes. So when people speak to you, and you've probably seen this before, when people speak to you, like you could have made eye contact, and like the person could have started speaking one way, then they started speaking a different way. It's like you could tell they went to their real self a little bit. They weren't speaking like nonsense or anything. They started to speak seriously, and they started to speak honestly, right? This is what you do. This is what your presence does. You just bring these things out of people. You bring the truth out of people, right? You're just walking truth. And yeah, just know that you being the natural leader that you are, your eye contact is always going to be intense. It's always going to be intense with people. It's always just going to be intense, whether you look at a camera like I'm looking at a camera, or whether you just look at someone directly in the eye, but people are gonna notice that your eye contact is different, right? It's kind of like you see past everything, every facade, right? You cut straight through it like a sword. And because you cut through it like a sword, your mouth is kind of like a sword as well. This is why you've probably been able to really boost people up, and like you say a few things and you could like really help people. But if you choose to use it for wrong, you could really cut like a knife, and you could really like hurt somebody, right? Because the way that you speak is something that's really sharp. You might have a sharp mouth, like a really accurate tone to you, or just it's kind of as if like your voice is anointed, right? It's like you have an anointed voice. It's like a different sounding voice, a voice that just cuts really deep. And this is why a lot of times like you've had to be in situations where like you've had to hold your anger, right? Because if you let your anger get too high, you'll say something, and you'll say something that's really hurtful, or like really truthful but really hurtful. So you've always had to be kind of sparing of people, right? If someone was like wicked around you or evil and you wanted to say something, you kind of had to hold your tongue a little bit. And if you didn't hold your tongue, like it could have got really rough, right? It could have got deep, it could have got really hurtful. So this is something that you have as well. This is something that also makes people get this like intimidation around you, right? And like I said, this isn't anything to brag. This is just who you are. This is just what you do. Every single leader has this aspect about them, right? They have these piercing eyes, and they have this voice that's really sharp. It's a really sharp and accurate voice. So you've likely spoken to people, and even if you said something really normal, like something that has nothing to do with like anything, it's just something like, you could say like, oh, hey, I heard you've been playing basketball or something. You just say something like that. People get like affected by the things that you say. It's like the way that you speak just like affects people strongly. It's like a rage of wind hits them, and they're like, why did that affect me so much, right? You've probably had this happen to you before. But yeah, you have a really powerful voice, and your voice isn't something that's just powerful as in like it's loud, but it's really powerful as in it's really accurate, it's really sharp. It's not really like a wishy-washy, beating around the bush type of voice. It's just a truthful type of voice. It's something that is straight to the point, right? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just know, if you do resonate with this video, you're someone who's a natural leader. You have a commanding presence. You probably already know this. This is just confirmation to you. You probably already had every experience I just talked about. So you already know what I'm talking about pretty much. But yeah, and I hope to get the schedule back to keep posting. I want to keep posting at least 3 to 4 times a week. I should start posting pretty soon in that schedule and everything, just getting right back to focusing on this and everything, getting right back on track pretty much, right? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment anything below, and if you're not subscribed already, if you want to subscribe, of course, don't forget to subscribe. All right, God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.